In this video we're going to be looking at factorising non-monic quadratics using the AC method. You can see I've put out some steps here, and for each of these examples we're going to be following these steps, and this method works for all non-monic quadratics. Remember, a non-monic quadratic is when the number in front of the x squared, well, there is a number, so that's where the a term is not 1. So the steps here, we're going to do it for the first one. It says find AC and B. Now each of these terms, each quadratic is in the form a x squared plus b x plus c. So for the first one, for looking at this question here, 6 is a and c is 12, so AC is 6 times 12, which is 72, and B is just 18. It's just the number in front of the middle term, the x term. So 72 and 18. And the second part asks us to find two numbers that multiply to give AC and add to give B. So two factors of 72 that add to give 18. So we need to write out the factors of 72. So we've got 1 and 72, that's not going to work. 2 and 36 doesn't work. 3 and 24 also doesn't work. Then we've got 4 and 18, they don't add to give 18. And then we have 6 and 12. Those two numbers are going to add to give us 18. So we're going to be using 6 and 12. And then it says split the bx term into these two numbers. So we're going to rewrite the whole expression, but we're going to split this term into 6 and 12. So we're going to write 6x squared plus 6x plus 12x plus 12. So the idea is that these two add up to make this 18 here. So we've just split it up into two separate numbers. Now we need to factorise the first two terms and the last two terms. So we're going to factorise these two terms, and we're going to factorise these two terms. And what we're going to get from this first bracket here, we can take out a 6 and we can also take out an x. So we're going to get 6x on the outside, and on the inside we're just going to be left with x plus 1. And from the second one we can take out a 12, positive 12, and we'll be left with x plus 1 on the inside. And then finally we need to factorise the whole expression, taking out the bracket as the common factor. So as we can see, we've got two terms here, 6x times x plus 1 and 12 times x plus 1. They both have an x plus 1 in common. So what we're going to do is we're going to put brackets around the whole thing, and we're going to take out the x plus 1. So we'll have x plus 1 on the outside, and we'll be left with 6x, and for the second term this is 6x, and we're going to be left with plus 12 for the second term. And that's our final answer. We've factorised this non-monic quadratic expression. Let's now move on to the second one. There's 4 examples I want to go through. I'm going to try and do it a little bit quicker each time. As you get in the hang of these, it becomes a lot easier and quicker. So we've got AC and B. AC is minus 16 and B is minus 6. As we can see, if this term, the C term, is negative, then one of them is positive and one of the numbers is going to be negative, because that gives us a negative product. So we need to find two numbers that multiply to give minus 16 but add to give minus 6. So I'm going to give the factors of 16, so that's 1 and 16, that doesn't work. 2 and 8. 2 minus 8 would give us minus 16, so that's worked. So we've got 2 and minus 8, and we're going to split the bx term into these two numbers. So we've got 4x squared plus 2x minus 8x minus 4. And now we're going to factorise these first two terms and the second two terms. Factorising the first two terms, we can take out a 2x, and that's going to leave us with 2x plus 1. And for the second one, we want the second bracket, want the brackets to be the same for the fifth one to work. So we need to take out a minus. We can take out a minus 4, and that will leave us with 2x plus 1. And now finally, factorising the whole expression, we can take out 2x plus 1 from both of them, and we'll be left with 2x minus 4 on the inside. And that's our final answer. Looking at the third one, here this one is positive, which means that, and this one's negative, which means that both numbers are going to be negative when we're thinking about part 2. So let's find AC. AC is 60 and B is minus 19. And we need to find the factors of 60 that add to give 19. So 1 and 60 doesn't work. 2 and 30 doesn't work. 3 and 20. 4 and 15. This looks like it's going to work. So we're going to be using minus 4 and minus 15. And it says split the bx term into these two numbers. So we've got 10x squared. I'm going to use minus 15 first. Now the reason I'm doing that is because 10 and 15 will definitely factorise, and 4 and 6 will also definitely factorise. So minus 4x, and then we got plus 6. Now we're going to factorise the first two and the last two terms. So this first one we can take out 5x, and we're going to be left with 2x minus 3. And then if we take out the next one, we're going to take out a minus 2. That will make this middle term here negative. So if we take out a minus 2, we're going to be left with 2x minus 3, and now both brackets are the same, which means that we can factorise them out. So on the outside we'll take 2x minus 3, and we'll be left on the inside with 5x minus 2. That's our final answer there. Let's just do one more, the fourth one. Hopefully you're getting the hang of it by now. One more example. Again, finding AC. So I'm going to do minus 6 times 9, which is minus 54. And B is 3. So two numbers that multiply to give minus 54 and add to give 3. We know that it's going to be one positive, one negative, because the C term is negative. So it's going to be two numbers that subtract to give B. So 1 and 54 isn't going to work. 2 and 27, that doesn't work. Next we've got 3 and 18. 18 minus 3 doesn't work. The next number in that's a factor is 6 and 9. So we can do 9 minus 6. That'll give us positive 3. So we're going to split the bx term up. We've got 9x squared. I'm going to put the 9 first because that's obviously going to factorise with the 9. And then the minus 6 will factorise with the other minus 6. So factorising these terms, I'm going to take the 9x out, and we'll be left with x plus 1. And for the second one, we can take out a minus 6, and that will leave us with x plus 1. Finally, factorising the whole expression, we get 9x minus 6 times x plus 1.